Hello, it's the Mighty Marvel Show, and I'm Paul, but you know that already. And if you don't know that, hi, I'm Paul. Welcome to the Mighty Marvel Show. You can find me at Mighty Marvel Show on YouTube, which you probably do now because you're watching it. So like, comment, subscribe, get all that out of the way now. There we go. Right, we're getting near the end of 2022. So, what a year for collecting. Loads of figures. Started so great. Look where we've ended up with windowless packaging and quality control issues and price increases and yeah, all those cool fun stuff which just make collecting so much more of a challenge. But I'm going to park all that, going to go for the joyful stuff. That's the whole point of doing this. That's why we all do it. That's why we love all these figures. I'm going to look back at 2022 and try and pick my favourite figure. Now remember, it's just my favourite. Your opinion is as valid as mine. So, oh, big hand there. You're Mr. Fantastic. Oh, not on my list, by the way. Your opinion is valid as mine, and I'd love to know your opinion. So stick it down in the comments and let me know. What's your favourite Marvel Legend of 2022 and why? And that's what I'm going to do now. So, I've got my list down to 10. And then I'll probably just talk about those 10. And then I'll probably just pick a favourite. That's probably the way I'll do it. But I'll set a couple of rules. So, the black costume symbiote Spider-Man, which for a lot of places in the world dropped in 2022. But for me, it dropped in 2021. Sound like a time traveler now, but I'm not. It dropped in 2021. So, I haven't included it on my list because if I did, it would win without question. It would win the best figure ever. But I didn't include it on my 2021 list because I'd already done my 2021 list, expecting it in 2022, and then it arrived over Christmas. So it's not on my list. If it was, it would win, no question, but it's not on my list. And the big decision is I've kept Galactus also off my list. He's just down here in my cabinet underneath Hot Toys here. The HasLab Galactus, that obviously did drop in 2022, and I've kept it off my list because, again, it's just a complete winner. That would just win. It's just an unbelievable figure and amazing, and so happy with it, as I'm sure most people are that've got it. But I have taken it off the list because it's kind of not a fair fight in terms of putting it in that list. And I'm obviously, it wins the best HasLab. Obviously, it wins the best HasLab, and it's the only HasLab. Talking about you, Ghost Rider. So it's the only HasLab. So that would also win easily. So let's just say now, the Galactus HasLab, for me, is unbelievably figure of the year. It's just amazing. But I've kept it out of the list because of it being HasLab, because of it being slightly different, a unique piece of collecting history as a Marvel Legend. So in terms of the normal 2022 releases, try and say that easy, 2022. Oh yeah, I did. I've just kept it quite simple. So the 10 I've whittled it down to, and these are my 10, just my 10, different reasons for each of them. My 10 are the 20th anniversary Captain America figure, the 20th anniversary Incredible Hulk figure, Quake from the Controller Builder figure wave, almost following on from that, the Shield Trooper 2-pack, bit of a cheat, I'm just counting it as one figure, but it's two. I'm just counting it as one figure. So the Army Builder Shield Trooper figures, the Baron Zemo comic version, Blue Marvel from the Controller figure Builder wave as well, the classic comic book Doctor Strange figure, the Iron Spider comic book version, the MCU Moon Knight version, and then the actual Controller Builder figure, which I deliberated about. Is it in its own category? Last year I did a Builder figure wave award just for the favourite Builder figure because I got a lot last year, but I haven't this year. The only real Builder figure I've got is the Controller, so I'm just treating it as a single figure. Bit of a cheat maybe. I'm just putting it in as a single figure. So that's my 10. Loads of other ones that could have got in there as well. Actually been a really big collecting year, but just talking about those ones of my Marvel Legends. So that's my 10 as a group. There's any number of reasons why they are my 10. Some are because they give me the feels in terms of, as a comic book fan of over 40 years, things like the Baron Zemo comic version. I'm desperate to get that version. Love some of the previous versions that we've had that actually cost a lot of money to get on the second-hand market. I do love this version. As a figure, it's not the greatest. It's okay. It poses okay, but it looks fantastic. It's straight out comic book actually that I absolutely love. And again, it just takes me back to all those comic book eras of loving that character and his clashes with Captain America and the Avengers. So that's why that figure is on my list as a figure. Yes, okay, but it's not the best. So in terms of how am I picking my best figures, it's a combination of anything really. Is it a phenomenal figure? Is it someone that takes me back to my childhood that I really, really love, or someone that gives me all the feel, something that's just really fun and enjoyable, or unique look to the figure? So those are all the things that are thrown into the melting pot for this figure. So that's why the Baron Zemo one is on there. The Hulk 20th, I think, is an incredible figure. Great pun on Incredible Hulk. I just think it looks fantastic. I've got quite a few Hulks and Marvel Select Hulks and the Grey Hulk, but I absolutely love that figure. I think it's really, really great. I think it's playing right into that 20th theme of a different style of Hulk. Paul Harding, the head sculpt, is amazing. And again, it's quite a unique piece of collecting history. Came with a really cool diorama as well, which is great, which is something, when you were getting the value for the money back then. Talking about you, Hasbro. Talking about you, second part of the year, 2022 Hasbro, the earlier part of the year, I think that was great value. So that's why there's figures on there. Cool accessories, and I love the big chunky figures. Absolutely love big chunky figures. That's also the reason why the controller is on there, that builder figure. I think it's great. Yes, it's based on the Thanos design, the deluxe figure we saw a few years ago, but so what? That's a great figure as well. The mold is great. It looks excellent. It's leaped straight off the comic book page, and I freaking love it. It goes well with all my Iron Man figures. I love clashing those two together. So really, really super pleased with that. And again, a big chunky figure. Poses great, looks great. The colour scheme is excellent. Just loads of fun. So that's why that one's on there. And actually the face sculpt detail is really, really cool as well. So that's why the controller one is on there. The Iron Spider, so I put that one on there. That surprised me actually. It's so much fun. It's not on the retro Spider-Man body, so it's not in terms of you'd immediately think of the most posable and the most articulated, but I absolutely love it. It poses so well. I just think it's a lot of fun. I had really, really great enjoyment with that figure, putting in different poses. I think the three actual spider tentacles, let's call them, he just wings it here at that moment. The actual Iron Spider legs, there you go, legs. They're quite cool. Could have a little bit more articulation, but it's a really fun figure, and that's why it's on the list as a fun figure. I love the color scheme. I think it works really well on this figure, and I love that version in the comics because it was totally different to what we had from Spider-Man before during the Civil War one in 2007. So I love that figure. It was part of the 60th anniversary. Honorable mention to the Amazing Spider-Man 15 version that I do like, but the Iron Spider just beats it out for the fun element really. I do really find that really enjoyable this year. Classic Doctor Strange. Now as a figure, it's not the best. It's okay. It's a bit hard to move. The cape doesn't come. Well, you can get the cape off a bit. It's a mission. The cape doesn't particularly come off it. The figure poses okay. It's quite good, but Doctor Strange is in my top 3 characters, Marvel characters, with Spider-Man and Moon Knight. So I love that costume. I've been desperate to get that classic Doctor Strange costume for a long, long time. So to have that figure is great. Come with loads of accessories. So that was really, really great value and lots of fun. I have a lot of fun posing that figure. So that's why that makes the list. That one as well. The Shield Troopers, same as Quake. I think Quake's an amazing figure, probably the best female Marvel Legends figure I think they've ever produced. I think it's excellent, so much fun. You've got that second head which doubles easily and perfectly for Maria Hill as well. Great accessories with it. The hand design is done well. I think the figure articulates fantastically well. Clean lines on the costume, the cut and the colour schemes. The application is excellent. That is a super fun figure. That's definitely the best female Marvel Legend figure that I've got. And I see a lot of people saying the same thing out there online. So that is right at the top of the list. That's probably a top 3 figure. That actually makes, not that I've actually done a top 3. Now I've done a top 3. So that makes the top 3. I think that is a really, really super cool figure. And it really surprised me actually how good it was. And that overtook in terms of that Avengers wave with the controller. I love that whole wave actually. And there's some really fun figures in there like Speedball, didn't have enough accessories. The US Agent, the face looks rubbish. But the figures were quite cool. The Thor looked really good as well. The Iron Man, disappointing, paint application wasn't great on that. But the Quake one sits fantastically well in there, and that really stood out for me in that way. So that's why she's in there as well. Same reasons for the Shield Troopers as well. An incredible amount of accessories. They look so cool. They fit perfectly with the comic book scene. Pose great. Good price. Lots of fun. Probably should have picked a few more of those up, actually. I actually got those at the same time as I got the Skrull Army builders. Got 4 of the Skrull Army builders and just the 2 shield ones, there they are, just there. So should have got some more of those. So they are excellent. Treating them as one for this. So they're really, really cool. And they really surprised me, and that's why they're there. Great on the packaging. Love that design. It looks really cool. Very economical to get as well. So that is why they are on the list. Circling back to that controller wave again, another figure off for that. Now I've seen a little bit of not hate for this figure, but it hasn't been as well received as I thought it would be. The Blue Marvel figure, Adam Bashir. I love that figure. Now my favourite Blue Marvel costume would have been the one that actually comes with the cape and maybe with the helmet, a bit more superhero-y. But I love this costume. I love this character. That's really why it's on there as well. But this figure is so different to a lot of the Marvel Legends, because you're not actually talking about a superhero costume. You're talking about combat gear, and you've got the combat fatigues and the boots and the cut with like the body warmer top on it. It looks amazing, and I think it's really good. And I liken it to a lot of the G.I. Joe figures, because I think actually the G.I. Joe figures as a wave are the actual best designed, best looking of all Hasbro's range of figures. To talk about Black Series, Marvel Legends, and G.I. Joe as the big 3 in that. And I love that wave, and I love the G.I. Joe figures rather, and so I love that look, I love that design. And this Blue Marvel is the closest we got to that sort of authenticity, the style of it. It actually looks like a proper pair of boots, and it actually looks like proper fatigues, and it's got really authentic sort of tactile feel to it, which I really like. And I love the character as well, so that's why that made the list. And in fact, don't tell any Marvel fans, the Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe is actually my best figure overall of the year. But that's not happening on this podcast. That's for something else. So that's why Blue Marvel's on there. The other figure which I think I missed out as I look down my list over here now, there's 2 actually missed out. The 20th Captain America. That's great. I love that figure. When that was first teased, I was like, oh my God, is this a real figure? Please tell me this is a real figure. It looks great. Again, 20th anniversary, came with a lot of accessories as well. Slight grumbles that the shield has got the 3 inserts on it for, electrical charges and the bullet ricochet. That's fine, because I've got loads of other shields as well. But it would have been nice if I actually had a shield where you didn't see those marks as well. So if you don't want to do it with all the ricochet stuff, but that's a small gripe. Loads of hand accessories, poses fantastically well, looks great. Paint application is awesome. Real quality value there in that figure for that one as well. And that is just an amazing Captain America figure. But I've got a lot of Captain America figures, but that is the top one for me. I do love the 80th Marvel 80 Years version, the darker blue one. But that's such a great figure. And I know a lot of people that missed out on getting some Captain America figures were able to get that one, pick that up. So again, it brings a lot of joy to collectors. So that's why that one is on the list. And then my final figure, which makes my 10, is the MCU Moon Knight version. Now, this surprised me, and so I'm not surprised because I love Moon Knight and I love that look of the costume. It's something really different that they did for the TV show. It really worked, playing into those Egyptian themes and the sort of bandages and the mummified look to it. Very, very different to the comic book, but absolutely faithful to what actually the Moon Knight costume looks like. So I thought it came out well. Couldn't really tell from the digital renders when they first released them what the figure was going to look like, but when it dropped, oh my goodness, incredible. There it is, sat on the shelf behind me. It's a new mold. The detailing on it, the wash of the bandages and the look to it, it poses fantastic. I've replaced the cape. I've got the actual cape it came with on here. I've replaced it. We could have done with the cape being a softer good, and that's the same criticism of the Doctor Strange, which is there as well. Could have done with that cape being softer goods and more sort of moldable and bendy. You can flip around a bit. But I've got a crescent-shaped cape from Cosmic Capes, which looks awesome as well. So I've been able to swap those ones over. And I've actually got the Mezco one, which I can swap over as well here as well on it. But that figure is just so much fun. So great. And it really surprised me. And even with like the little bend on the tunic in the middle, which you can see there, it doesn't affect the posability at all. It looks great. And if you get the right lighting, in terms of if you're doing any posing or pictures with it, if you get the right lighting, it really, really plays nicely into that sort of bandage look to it. And it looks great. And I've seen some people do some amazing customs with it as well and give it a bit more of a black wash to it, which I might play around with. So that's my 10. In terms of top 3 in it, let me think. Well, I've already thrown in Quake. That's definitely in there. I think the MCU, the Moon Knight is definitely in the 3, and then I'm probably throwing in the Captain America, the 20th Captain America again, because there's just so much came with it. So I think that's my top 3 out of those 10. And then my overall winner, drum roll, it's the Moon Knight. It's the MCU Moon Knight. That for me is my Marvel Legends, apart from characters, of 2022. That is my number one figure. My favourite, not best because it's not my decision what's best. It's my favourite figure. Fun. Really surprised me in terms of how good it was when I got it. So it exceeded expectations. Design looks great. Poses well. Looks authentic to the character that it's based against. Very, very exciting. If it had one thing missing, we could have had an Oscar Isaac head in the box. Then it's an all-timer, but it doesn't necessarily need it because you didn't see a lot of demasked Moon Knight Oscar Isaac in it. So there you go. That is my favourite figure of 2022, Marvel Legends, the Moon Knight. Okay, but obviously, what's yours? Hopefully, put it in the comments and go and read those by then. Now, that's it. I've told you to like and subscribe already, so I'm not going to waste your time doing all that again, although I just have. Sorry about that. And that's it. I'm off to get all those figures together now and have a big old tear up with them, and then I might change my mind into a favourite. But no, I won't. Moon Knight wins for me. Thanks so much for listening. See you on another video. Bye for now.